The rain had been falling since midday. Slow, patient, the kind that dulls the city's edges and makes everything feel distant. Inside a small cafe tucked along a busy street, Michael Reeves sat alone by the window, his coffee untouched and already cooling. He checked his phone again. Nothing. The last message still read, "I'll see you at 3." It was nearly 3:50. She wasn't running late. She wasn't coming. Michael exhaled quietly, staring at the screen before setting it face down on the table. It was strange how something so small could feel so heavy. He wasn't heartbroken. He hadn't even met her. But the absence landed harder than he expected. Loneliness had been his quiet companion for a while now. 2 years earlier, he'd buried his father. Not long after, his mother's memory began slipping away piece by piece, leaving him to visit a nursing home that no longer felt like home. His days were filled with work and responsibility. His nights ended in an apartment that echoed too loudly with silence. The blind date had felt like a risk, a hopeful one. He'd worn his favorite jacket, shaved carefully, told himself he still mattered, still had something to give. But as the minutes passed, that hope thinned. Outside, the rain streaked the glass. Couples hurried past beneath umbrellas. Parents shielded their children, laughing through puddles. Life kept moving. Warm, connected, full. Michael wondered when he'd fallen out of step with it. He took one last sip of his coffee and reached for his coat. That's when the bell above the cafe door rang. A woman stepped inside, clearly worn down by the day. Raindrops clung to the edges of her coat. Her dark hair stuck softly to her face, and in her arms was a small boy, no older than 4, wrapped in a bright green rain jacket and holding a crumpled paper bag like it was precious. The boy's eyes were wide with curiosity. The woman's held something deeper, exhaustion mixed with resolve. The cafe was full now, every chair taken, except the one across from Michael. Without thinking, he lifted his hand slightly. "You can sit here, if you want." She hesitated, scanning his face, then nodded with a cautious smile. "Thank you." She settled into the chair, lifting the boy onto her lap. Michael noticed the way she sat, alert, guarded, used to watching for judgment. Her coat was clean, but worn thin, the kind that had survived more winters than it should have. The boy opened the paper bag and pulled out a sandwich. He broke it in half and offered one piece to his mother. She smiled softly and shook her head, pushing it back toward him. "You eat." Michael looked away, feeling a tightness in his chest he didn't expect. After a moment, he asked if they'd been caught in the rain. She nodded. Her name was Lena. Her son was Eli. They'd been walking for a while. The place they were staying had closed early, and the bus stop was farther than she thought. She didn't explain more, and she didn't need to. Her words carried the weight of someone who had learned to say just enough. When the server passed, Michael ordered 2 hot chocolates and another sandwich. Lena shook her head immediately. "You don't have to." "I want to," he said gently. "Really?" She studied him for a second, then quietly said, "Thank you." When Eli took his first sip, his face lit up. A small laugh escaped him. Pure, unfiltered joy. For the first time in weeks, Michael smiled without forcing it. They talked slowly, about nothing important at first. Eli's love for animals, the rain, the warmth of the cafe. Eventually, Lena mentioned she used to teach before her husband passed away unexpectedly. Life had unraveled fast after that. She didn't cry. She didn't ask for pity. She was just tired. Michael listened, truly listened. He realized how long it had been since someone spoke to him instead of past him. He had come searching for connection, maybe romance. What he found was something quieter, something real. As the rain softened, Michael offered them a ride. Lena hesitated. Every instinct in her told her to be careful. But Eli looked up and said, "Mom, he's nice." That was enough. The drive was calm. The city shimmered outside, streets reflecting the sky in pale silver. Lena sat in the back seat, one hand resting protectively on Eli as he leaned against her. Michael felt something unfamiliar settle in his chest. Peace. He dropped them near an aging apartment building. Lena thanked him again. No expectations, no promises, just gratitude. As they walked away, Eli turned back and waved. "Thank you for the chocolate." Michael stayed there for a long moment after they disappeared inside. He had come for someone who never arrived, but somehow he'd been exactly where he needed to be. The next morning, he returned to the cafe. He didn't know why. Hope, maybe? And then the door opened. Lena stepped in, holding Eli's hand. Same coat, same tired eyes. When she saw him, her face softened into a shy, genuine smile. Eli tugged her sleeve. "That's him," he whispered. "The nice man." And just like that, something inside Michael began to heal. They kept meeting. Coffee turned into lunches, errands, conversations that felt easy and honest. Slowly, a bond formed, not rushed, not forced. Months later, the cafe looked different. Laughter filled the corner table. Eli sat between them, fries in hand, while Michael and Lena shared quiet smiles over coffee. What began as rejection had become a beginning. Michael often thought about that rainy afternoon, how close he'd been to leaving early. If he had, he would have missed everything. Because sometimes when life says no, it's not rejection, it's redirection. And on the day the wrong person didn't show up, Michael found something far better. He found a family.